Hello everyone, our topic this week is a lore request from authoress Pluto and Werewolf Gamer. We'll be going over Rodin from the Bayonetta series.
So first things first, Rodin, yes, it's Rodin, not Rodin, much like it's Jean, not Jean in this series, is the merchant character for the Bayonetta games. In-game, his primary function is to sell Bayonetta anything and everything available for purchase in the game, from new weapons to alternate costumes, consumables, etc. He is the player's one-stop shop for all things murder and life-sustaining. He trades in halos, the Sonic-style game currency dropped by angels throughout the games. He is also a secret boss in both Bayonettas 1 and 2, and is one of the most powerful characters in the game.
Rodin is a fallen angel, and a ludicrously powerful one. He was in fact one of Paradiso, Heaven's, rulers, tasked with the duty of creation, which he fulfilled by creating weapons of war for the angels of Paradiso, much like he creates weapons for Bayonetta by the time the games begin. His creations were, and technically are, so potent that there are numerous stories of warriors single-handedly fending off enemy forces and succeeding despite being vastly outnumbered. We're talking armies versus one, in large part due to the power provided by Rodin's arsenal. During his time in Paradiso, he earned the title the Infinite One, due, at least in part, to surviving through and witnessing, quote, countless generations in Paradiso, unquote. That's generations of quasi-immortal beings that he's lived through. Evidently not even close to a common feat, considering no other character in the series, angel or demon, has any type of similar title to their name. There are two tales depicting Rodin's fall from grace. In the first, the seemingly official story, Rodin is said to have turned his back on Paradiso, raising a rebellion against Heaven's other leaders, but ultimately losing the battle and being banished to Inferno, or Hell. However, the same in-game notation where this story is told speaks of a rumor that the official story is in fact a cover story, and that in truth Paradiso's other angelic rulers so greatly feared Rodin's immense power that they conspired together, trapping Rodin into a situation that led to his exile from Heaven to Inferno. From the way things are written, we tend to lean toward the second story, the rumor story, being true, but we have no way of being sure.
After being banished to Hell, Rodin established himself very highly on the demonic hierarchy of power as well. In fact, in terms of in-game canon, he seems to be ranked just below Jubileus, the angelic deity figure, in terms of power, which would presumably place him similarly just below Queen Sheba, the demonic deity figure, in terms of demonic power rankings. However, Rodin evidently grew tired of the constant chaotic warfare of Inferno's demons and vanished from Inferno altogether, eventually appearing in the human world as the proprietor of the Gates of Hell, his shop. By the time of the games, Rodin has a good working relationship with Bayonetta. In fact, it was Rodin who gave her that name when they met whilst she was still suffering from amnesia. See our Bayonetta lore video here. In exchange for halos, plucked from the corpses of fallen angels, Rodin travels to Hell and captures the souls of demons there in order to infuse their souls into weapons of great power to put at Bayonetta's disposal. It is said that his forays into Hell are quick and so violent that one could scarcely imagine that he was ever an angel at all, much less a being of creation, as he is so skilled in the art of destruction.
Many games include one or more secret bosses of varying degrees of power, often more powerful and more difficult to kill than even the final boss of the main game, but usually offering commensurately powerful rewards. Rodin, in addition to his duties as the series merchant, also fills this role in Bayonettas 1 and 2, and will presumably fill a similar set of roles in Bayonetta 3. In the first game, once the player has acquired 10 million halos over the course of the game, that's total, including halos spent, so don't feel the need to hoard them if you're ever playing through the game after this, an item is unlocked in Rodin's store called the Platinum Ticket, which costs 999,999 halos. Upon purchase, the player unlocks the secret boss fight with Rodin, where he assumes an angelic form as Father Rodin, the Infinite One. In Bayonetta 2, no initial halo acquisition requirement exists, but the price to buy the boss fight has instead hiked to 9,999,999 halos. Upon starting the fight this time, Rodin is simply called Rodin, the Infinite One, and starts the fight in his normal humanoid form, but assumes a demonic form at stage 2 rather than an angelic one. In both games, Rodin is the hardest boss fight in the entire game, making him, mechanically speaking, the most powerful character in the series. Or technically second, since the player as Bayonetta can beat him, and it's implied in Bayonetta 2 that canonically speaking, Bayonetta beat him in the first game. Also, in both games, upon defeating Rodin, the player receives the weapon set Rodin. In both games, the weapon set takes both the arm and leg weapon slots for Bayonetta. However, in Bayonetta 1, the Rodin can assume the form of any of the angelic weapons acquired throughout the game, allowing the player to sling together unusual combos and also, frankly, just feel awesome. In Bayonetta 2, this trend continues, except that the transformation forms also include the demonic weapons found throughout the game.
In terms of actual in-game story, there's very little to tell about Rodin. Predominantly, he pops up throughout the game to say, "Hey, shop is this way, come buy stuff." Though he does occasionally appear outside of his shop. In Bayonetta 1, he's seen early on supplying Bayonetta with a literal coffin full of handguns during a fight, having not made, or at least not given, the Umbra Witch her special endless ammo handguns yet. But most of his story contributions throughout the rest of the game are to tell Bayonetta that he can tell something is obviously up, and that he thinks she's being led into a trap. He plays a slightly larger role in Bayonetta 2, though only slightly, appearing early on in a Santa outfit, this game taking place right around Christmas, to resupply Bayonetta with a new set of guns, and later, after Jean's soul has been wrenched from her body, he assists in prolonging the pseudo-dead witch's life, giving Bayonetta more time to rescue her best friend. When Bayonetta later finds her way to Hell, she meets Rodin, who's there on a hunting foray for demon souls. Despite telling our protagonist that if she died down there, he'd snatch her soul up just like any other demon, he does help Bayonetta battle her way to Jean's captor, ultimately keeping Bayonetta from killing the demon who had held Jean's soul, instead taking said demon's soul for himself so that he could make a weapon. Though he did give Bayonetta the weapon in question immediately thereafter, so it wasn't much of a sacrifice on Bayonetta's part. This is the only stage in any of the games where Rodin directly helps Bayonetta out, though he is a playable character in one of Bayonetta 2's side modes. That's pretty much the last of Rodin we see until the game's final cutscene though, where Rodin has pressed one of Bayonetta's other side characters into service, driving Rodin around while he tosses out flyers for his shop. After all, who needs internet advertising when you have a guy with a car who owes you and seemingly endless amounts of paper? Right?
And that's pretty much Rodin, the infinite weaponsmith of the Bayonetta series. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave us a like, and maybe share it around with some friends you think might like it. You'd be surprised what your word of mouth can do. If you have ideas for videos you'd like to see us do in the future, do like Authoress Pluto and Werewolf Gamer, and let us know in the comments down below. If you'd like to see more videos from us in the future, be they lore or Let's Play, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
In the meantime, this has been True Masters and Morons, signing off.
Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like it, hit this subscribe orb.
To see our last Let's Play, click or tap the link on the right.
For our last lore video, go to the link on the left.
And for a video chosen by the gods of YouTube from our channel, hit that link on top.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.